Dude, we're gonna finish this goddamn game. It's the last thing I do. Then, I don't know what else we'll do afterwards. Bonk, 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 bonk. Oh, my ears is so loud. Still kind of loud, but who cares? Let's see, edit stream info. This game is called, Finish Right. Sorry, Finish Right, Ace Attorney. It's my bad. Not just Finish Right, yeah? But I think Ace Attorney. Check the old producer. Make sure you're all good, yeah? It's alright, yeah? Poggy, Paul. I've been live for 0 seconds? I don't believe you, really, I don't. Still have 0 seconds, so... You know? Dunk, 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 dunk. Am I not live? I swear I am. I swear me mum. I'm not on Firefox, but not Chrome, so I don't get it. Anyway. Donkey, donkey, donk, donk. Poggy pog. Alright. Donkey, donkey. Donkey, donkey. Am I good now? There we go. Usually I don't starve for a minute or two, but... I don't know. I'm gonna get this out of the way. We wanted to present to you why I should keep the information that we found inside the safe here, which was the, you don't have access to it yet. It was the piece of vase which is already fixed, and the cloth, wherever the cloth is. We don't have proof of the other handprint, do we? Yeah, the blue badge jar? I don't think so. If we did, that'd be pretty cool, but I don't think we do. So can we just leave? Represent to you something else? Not bad. Oh, got to stay positive. Feel a lot better now that that jar is complete. But it's only raised another question: why was a piece of it doing in the chief's safe? More importantly, why wasn't there any money in there? Isn't that what saves are for anyway? I have a feeling the outcome of Myra's trial just might hinge on this. What about the cloth we got, dude? Am I dying? You know, Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. We heard this one already. I really shouldn't have walked and stopped playing at this point of the game. Oh, we're good? No. This is just some we saw this last night. What made me lose the case today? And we heard all of this already, dude. I think I have the vase, but like, how do I get the cloth? I want to have the other handprint, is the thing. I can't present to you this case file, can I? Yeah, I didn't think so. What if I just go? See you, nerd? And, just leave the building altogether? Let's go talk to, how do you do that? Talk to Lana? Nothing to say to me? Nothing to say to me? I don't believe you do either. Please, okay. I don't really know what you want from me, is the thing. Just throw everything I have at Gumshoe. I can do that. Anything in here I missed? Pog, poggy, pog, pog. Squeep. Poggy, poggy. Poggy, poggy. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up if you were to drop that suit of armor from here. First, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? He said he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see through the view. Oh, stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Alright. Alright, Gumshoe, I'm gonna through every piece of dialogue I have at you, how about that? My badge, pal. There's this thing all the time. You're fired, I won't be able to get the information to anyone. That's all I am now. I wonder what happened. That's when he stayed by what's his face, the chief or something like that, or a star, excuse me. Yeah. Been there, done that. Poggy. Maybe you don't think there's blood in here, do you? Can I even spray? Oh, all right. A musk guy. Don't tell me you bring this with you everywhere you go. Well, you never know when something might go down. What kind of world do you think we live in? There's anything I didn't expect. Well, to get sidetracked, just 4:20 p.m. Then the victim must have entered the evidence room along with somebody else, someone with an executive officer number. Ooh, 777777777. We figured that out. Look at this. Hey, I know that. I know what this is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, detective. All right, go to town. Sheesh. Out loud? What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. Isn't that your fingerprints we want to take? Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. Talking about the cloth we found in the safe. Oh, haha. Right, makes sense. Only that, the one with the handprint on it, right? Siege? Or your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check the footprints. Powder on the cloth. Once there have been a story with the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't want to be told this a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. I don't know why I chose that finger. Thumb. I think I was just trying to spray the ick on the ground. Give it my best shot. Because that won't be any good for matching prints, will it? Doesn't look like we're gonna get a clearer result from this print. Doesn't look like we're gonna get a clearer result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Okay, that's my bad. Sorry, I'm very stealthy. Bing. Who? I mean, Emma's is pretty close, but it's not hers. Or yes, it is. The little spot in the center is weird, but like it's hers, so. No? How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They were unclear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. That'd be Dark's prints. Psst, hey, you over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. It's a cloth folded and added to the court record. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. No, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Eek. Chief Camp? We didn't think you'd be back so soon? Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. And then I thought of a certain detective. You mean me, sir? No, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be an idiot anymore. But, sir. Now get out. Yes, sir. Only got fired. Be on our way too, then? Wait, you, the one without the spiky hair? Don't go yet? Me, sir? Want to have a word with you? But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator. Yeah. Ooh, you with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. You really gonna leave her? Look, pal, if I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. I guess he is the chief of police. Not much you can do about it, right? Chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, never would have said it. I would have seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office. I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. Why has she kept her eerily silent about this the entire time? Anyway, you listen to me. I'm gonna try to smooth things over with Chief with Gant again. Later, pal. Did that heard from Emma. Says she the police wanted to ask her some questions. so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Hold on. I see, so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. There's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in the court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. I already told you all I can. What you told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed the two women. I think I finally figured it out. I know who it was that's lurking behind your. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. You did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth. Unless you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Big-headed is the term you use, I believe. I have no chance to get her to tell me about the rest of the story. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. I insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. Besides the witness and the photos, that's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. Do you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is the person you're speaking of? One I'm supposed to be frightened of? Scam. Oh, Miss Guy. Mr. Wright, you were addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. Maybe she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Please tell me a bit more about what you think you know. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes. Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant. Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was ellipses, me. I had access because I was second in command of the investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. Ellipses. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in the case. Thinking... Emma's prints? You want proof of the chief's wrongdoing? Here it is. Evidence proves something, someone is doing something wrong, alright. But it's not the chief. Who would that be? Why, you, of course. Me? Yes. Seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? No, that's scary. You seem to have the makings of a criminal in you. What with all your fallacious accusations. Harris spent the night in the cell next to mine. If you ask me, you're the scary one. Is that the wrong one? Is it? Is it the evidence in the back? Just thinking the drawing? No, it wouldn't be that. I mean, what did we get from his office? The evidence list, the piece of cloth, and the piece of the vase. Proof that the chief can't falsify evidence. He did hide half the evidence list, so none of this in the safe in the chief's office. Jar piece and this piece of cloth. Oh, okay, just do the one that combines both of them, not the one with the other. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the Sunlight incident. See, the person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for it? All the music fades away. Touche, Mr. Wright. As you surmise, I cannot disobey the Chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman. Perhaps I should say follow orders.
This is more accurate than cooperate. Orders? Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. You can dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, excuse me, despite what everybody believes, I'm so frickin' stuffy, dude. You are not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. Yes. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken. I discovered that murder weapon was while inspecting the body. Murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was stuck in the knife. Or this was the knife stuck in it. Knife from the Esseln knife incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. Couldn't just leave the knife in him. I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. That is the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. A star, huh? Why did you need to hide the Dark's knife so badly? The Dark. It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be open. I didn't ever want it to be open again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with it. With that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. But I called my sister. Tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling. The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. Phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the Esseln incident had been murdered. I wanted the fact to be kept hidden. I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seemed that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean? Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. Did your phone call cause the incident in the evidence room? Dunk, 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 dunk. How do you do just turning around 180 degrees in your chair? That's like a stinking school chair. With like just this cheap like $20 chair with the back and all. Curves up. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. Bologna. Probably like $40 actually. Well, 2001? 40 bucks. You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. Only one way to drive off Lana's demons. Gotta get to the bottom of everything. Goodman's a real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. To be continued. Honk 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 dunk. There you go. The final court case. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth. Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not being the one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday. Because there was still room for doubt regarding his ID record. That number does belong to whom you suspect. There's no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True. Not yet. In the event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. She didn't do it. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here to hear what you had to say. First time he's ever anything like this. One is hiding something, and the only way we'll never know the truth is if you all that. The truth. Everything goes back to that Aspen incident. Don't be stupid, today's the last day of the trial. You don't have time to reminisce about the past. It depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright? Is that Ray Romero on the left side? This is it. Ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her? It's now. Court is now in session for the trial of Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I mean, it has to be like either Emma killed Dark after he killed Jake in the darkness, I guess, or Gant killed both of them. I don't know, man. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Udgy. Been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. Got him. You don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Lana, that is to say, the defendant, asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? Let them make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I'm muted. No, Lana. She confessed. Objection. You can't? Your Honor, this defendant's claims do not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. Alana, Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me. But it has sufficiently proven the case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. Can't be happening. Appears the time for the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant. Objection from Mr. Edgeworth. There you go. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty, beyond a simple doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? No. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Ellipses. The sudden confession from the defendant. It's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal? Not everyone operates as duty worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. No, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. Lest the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to reverse one eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy? You'll live to regret this, mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. Occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. Trying out my hardest to forget about that, though. Ellipses. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember the trial concerns the murder of Detective Wright. An incident that was resolved 2 years ago. Really? Is an incident resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, most certainly is. Well, okay then. You sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind the trial. Puggy, 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 puggy. Awaiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Was he stabbed in the back? It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. We'll press first, but I'm pretty sure we have a picture of him being stabbed in the back. Understandable, however. Please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Wright's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Hold it! 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes. She was second in command under the Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister? She was the best detective ever. Nods. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I always sit by my sister's desk. You remember about playing the organ? Wanted to play that day, too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished with her work. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Skye and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door and had him. I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of the Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assumed that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. That's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't remember really what happened then, but you'll never forget. You don't really remember, but you never forget it. Can you tell us what happened after that? About that? Mr. Marshall jumped in Dark just then. The lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of the year. But this time of year. Then there was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby. The electricity went out. Wait a minute. It was pitch dark in that room. You shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. Sudden flash with an unforgettable image seen in my mind. I see. Told the detective about what I saw then. Detective. Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman. The victim. Hear more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes. That's what's so scary about this trial. You told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the word just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture, yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we had added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. Well, I guess we pressed the picture. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all of her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is, that as a prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. It may well be, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list from the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over. Turn it. Ugh, what's this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. We're in galoshes. Indeed, 2 men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists, but together they form one. And you can see the marks here when they were torn apart from each other. And you see, Mr. Edgeworth, what obvious would happen 2 years ago. Only half of the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? It? Order? But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, that means... Your Honor, are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, there might be more of the drawing of the back than Mr. Edgeworth's list. That's just quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. You never turned it around? Nothing wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that pink? Oh no. That's the thing. The thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, creative vandalism is a work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated to the court record. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yeah, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at that picture. Puggy, pug. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. You think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind? Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. Clearly shows Joe Park about the murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Hold it! Have you ever used Crayola? Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. During the time the investigation team was reorganized, Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Grant and Lana Sky. 2 or 3 days later, the memory should still have been fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lighting was so bright. I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Druck had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. Turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Where am I? I was glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No. I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture the girl any further? What? I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, the picture. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. Wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives? Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. Better watch out, or we may find a way to cut my salary. This picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. That's right. Is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Oh well. That's strange. It's exactly that scene that was imprinted in the mind, and yet, there's really a contradiction here. Am I dying? Yeah, stabbed in the back, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. But I still remember it like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? The fact he's gonna be stabbed in the front, I guess? It's hard to... What would I click here? A knife being up here? Him being up on his knees up here? I don't really... I think it's this part here. Strong stinks? Wow. Death penalty. I guess I'll click the knife itself. It's hard to tell what you want to click. Take that. Condition, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see his tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It's an inclusive piece of evidence. You know, I didn't even think the knife was broken in the picture. But you know what? Sure. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple. Objection. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. The victim was only stabbed once. The murder weapon should not yet be broken. What's the meaning of this? Perhaps his knife was broken beforehand? Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right. But what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness' memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. Let's break the child, but there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There's another explanation. Have you forgotten already? A little something called falsified evidence. A little falsified evidence. Treading up thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Okay. Order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor? Please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of the Prosecutor's Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark, along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, and there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. Must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Could there have been one? I'm thinking... My current thought was just... He didn't stab him. But like, why would she draw a broken knife? You know what I'm saying? The witness is this adamant about her accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error, Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. In one way. Take a look at this. Here's a real murder weapon. Anything's broken here? It's you? Huh? I'm sure that must all be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. Okay. Here's a real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. Could it just be the actual knife and it's just... I'm lying here, dude. Okay, it's not the screwdriver, huh? I'm losing it. I am losing it. Well, he did remove... I doubt he broke off the halberd from the stinking shield and did him up like that. I know I'm broken, I'm broken. I don't know. Okay, okay. Should've probably saved it. I really don't know. Donka. I fully believe that she saw a broken knife, because, like, why would you write that? Like, illustrate, like, you remember the broken knife. Not talking to any detectives beforehand. There definitely is. To be the stinking... I doubt it's the blade inside of the stinking... The photo from the night. It's not a knife. I can try it. Only idea I have. Hold on. He was in here. I do see that that's taped together. I doubt it's the stinking ear gesture part of that. That's in the past, 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. Word ceremony. Don't just tell me it's the vase. I will lose it. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. It was the word Prosecutor Marshall was holding. It is the halberd. I just chose the wrong option, huh? Okay. I got you. That's a broken knife. I really just chose the wrong option, huh? I get it. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was no likelihood its award. Now the green knife that was actually white in the bag, like an actual steel knife. Order. The Marshal was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award was he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. Broken knife was the only weapon he had in the situation. But that can't be. No, why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because of the King of Prosecutors was the ward, knife was the murder weapon. Murder and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? The man raising the knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. Remember everything. Witness, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? Here is his list. One with the picture scribbled in the back. I knew it. That picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. This wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. The time I've been trying so hard to forget. It must have locked this part of it way deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled this guy? Yes, Your Honor. First a knife mix-up and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, I'm sure I saw a shadow. This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further. Lana, was the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defense chair. Well, you can't do this, everyone confesses to the crime. Can't you just leave it all at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. Seems we're finally getting to the core of this matter. When you say that man, I assume you're referring to Joe Dark? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? All I could really see were shadows. The power outage that immediately preceded the incident. Also documented in the prosecutor's office's report. Then you? Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was meant to stab Mr. Marshall. He's convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But we just theorized Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When the Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think of was I gotta help that other person. What did you mean, you think? It happened so fast and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly what I did, it was all kind of a blur. This guy was almost killed before she was witness to the murder about to take place. So much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What she did was very brave, young girl. So what happened next? Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here. It was the chief of detectives who thought up the hideous beast. That was just this year. Blue Badger didn't even exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange, but I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. But I finally remember. Oh, brother. Is when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, what in the room did you see him where in the room did you see him dancing? His shadow. So you mean you didn't actually see his face? With his winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had three horns. This is pointless? That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. Witness must be mistaken. May well be. What's important is that what caused her to think that she saw what she did. Oh, am I supposed to hear your explanation? If so, then by all means, please tell us where the shadow really was. Or was it that I saw when the lightning flashed? It was Blue Badger, really? Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when I drew this picture. Yet she certainly saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is defense believed that on this fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something similar to the Blue Badger, that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright. In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is that thing that we saw in the instant? Please show us mysterious Blue Badger looking look-alike. Take that! Mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this. Well, that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of a jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. Indeed, it doesn't. And as it stands now, it's just a simple jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Let us show them. Correct angle to look at this from. Oh, the badger, whoops. I'm sorry, we'll do it again. I can rotate it, dude. Aw, frick. Am I dying here? What? Bro, I'm actually dying. Am I losing it? I'm to include the broken piece. Something like this? Absolutely not, dude. My goodness. Am I looking at it wrong? It should be something like this. No, I really don't believe it's this. At all. How do you make a vase look like this? Oh my. Don't. I thought this was right to an extent, and then you had to like turn like this. But that still doesn't look at all right. So. I'm actually dying. I've tried this, I think. You need the drippiness of the ears, though. Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. So the only way for them to be droopy like that is to have it like this, right? But then you have this giant piece in the front here. I wish I could see the actual drawing on the, what's it called again? This makes the most sense to me, like this. Am I actually dying?
Bro, I looked it up. That's how you do it. Am I dying? Is that the... I feel like I've even done that one before. To be even more perfect? Can you believe it? Well, is it a miracle or what?
No one could possibly deny this jar resemblance to the Blue Badger. No. It can't be.
Order. Order.
The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Objection. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? Well, the Badger thing was actually just a jar. It doesn't change anything. Objection. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edward. You see? You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? Allow me to take these in turn. The moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. Very specific angle, might add, Mr. Wright? Yes, well, anything that, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? Location of the jar is shown in this picture taken on the day of the crime. On the shelf in the office of Damon Gant. The body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. Witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the courtroom, at Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why? Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, you wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. This is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. That she knocked away... She says she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. The next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what would have sent this jar flying? That would have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, I may draw your attention to the picture once more. The man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on. What would he have hit? Ah. A suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. As the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have be Neil Marshall, wielding the King of the Prosecutor's trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility. Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea. Nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place at the defense theorizes, its outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming that the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Blink blink. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No. Thud. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So was the witness who took the victim's life. And this then proved so with her own testimony. Unprecedented. Objection. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Guy, but given the circumstances, direct murder prosecutor Marshall? How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin this crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I had no idea what you're talking about. You hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations. I'm afraid you're going to have to prove it. Have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. Certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. No. Hump, touche, Miss Guy. Of course. Only leaves us with one possibility. You mean, still need a possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die in storm. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. It's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, what possibility left for you? A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I gotta think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. The evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister is a murderer? No. Do not be mistaken, Miss Guy. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. Message from the deceased. Right? Now then. Message from the judge. Ah, dare you. Dark red stains must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. When the fragment found in Chief Gant's office still has lines remaining on it. It's written in blood, right? So there you go. That blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. It's like everyone's forgotten about this, this is just a jar? Message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood in some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die in storm. He used a few precious moments left of to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points. The victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave us here? Your Honor, I believe bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect these dots. And I can see it already, so.
Tatanka?
Oh, okay, never mind. E M A. Take that. The defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. This is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. All people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, you understand the implications of what you're doing? Of what you've done? Well, what are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Jack. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Objection! Joe Dark really was a serial murderer, that's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We weren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on in the prosecutor's office? They must have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there? Order, order, order. Order! Gravel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crown, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. I'm gonna walk away for just a minute. Oh, look at that, to be continued. Rejuvenate my voice. I will be right back.